No. You've misunderstood it, my darling. What happens in that is I'm sat there, surrounded, I think, by women. The steam subsides, and I realize I'm actually surrounded by chaps. But I enjoy it.
I kind of love that your dad basically just muscled in on your desk.
My favorite thing about it is the vindication of like when we were growing up and I was like 10, 12, 13, 14, like all my teenage years, our computers would get jacked up and they would blame me like, oh, it's the video games and you know, it's the crap websites and all that. It's all, and now my computer runs like a fucking dream and just works so well. And that thing that my dad uses takes like a fucking year to boot. And I was like, wow, that's weird. Must be all that crap you do.
You been on Kazaa, Dad?
Yeah, what are you doing? Must be all the downloading.
You taking 16 hours to download one nudie picture
It's not
halfway?
like that. It's BitTorrent, son. Just like, what?
I'm the crypto king, bitch.
No, BitTorrent is. Forget it. It's not crypto.
I don't care.
It has nothing to do with that.
I don't care. Crypto is whatever you want it to be.
No,
I learned that when Elon Musk started manipulating the markets with his tweets.
I just bought $20 of this coin because I think there's a quadrillion of them out there. I bought $20. It was 2 million of them just because I thought.
Oh, this is not a bit. You did this.
No, I actually did this.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
you spent how much money on
Like
it?
$20.
Okay.
It was one of those things because it's such a fractionally small amount that if it does well in any incremental way, because I have 2 million of them, it'll be a huge win. Of course, if it incrementally goes down from now, I'll lose that $20, but it's only $20.
That's 2 McChickens
Yeah.
and a large fry, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's crazy. You know what I was thinking about the other day is like, do you remember like the early 90s, like being a real young little shit and going in and seeing like candy bars for like 30 cents?
I don't remember the pricing on it, quite frankly.
I remember 50 cents. I remember 50 cents.
My
Snicker
dad
bars.
was the guy that threatened me with diabetes and an amputated foot if I didn't like hang off, if I
God,
didn't back off the sweets.
If my
So,
parents had done that to me, that's all I would have noticed. If you had told me not to, I'd be like, oh my God, look at that.
dude, I couldn't
There's
even.
a sale on Hershey's bars. They're usually 75 cents here. This place has them for 40. Oh my God, I've got to stock up right now.
No, dude, it was like I was like a pedo walking by a grade school. It's just like, don't look, don't look, don't look. It's candy.
Oh, okay.
You get in trouble when you eat candy.
I thought you said PETA at first, like the protection of animals group. You
Or
know?
a sandwich, Middle Eastern
I-
sandwich.
Like halfway through, I was like, what is PETA
No, a
doing at
pedo.
What is PETA doing at a school?
A pederast, Rory.
Ah, yes. Well then, glad I finally crossed the finish line on that one.
I was trying to demonstrate the intensity of the situation.
There was a little Sean Connery in there
Sort of.
right at the end.
Maybe I'll do the whole episode Connery.
I don't. Again, if you do, you have to do it as him from his like perspective and viewpoint, which is pretty problematic.
It's not much different from my own, quite frankly, for anyone that listens to the show.
Listen, if you interrupt me again, I'm going to hit you with an open hand.
She.
It's a smack. It's not a hit. It's a smack.
Just shot across the bow. It's not meant to injure, just to warn, like a rattlesnake's rattle.
This is the worst thing ever.
Oh, yeah. Sorry that he was a piece of shit. You know, people are finding out Ric Flair was a big piece of shit.
Oh, really?
There's this
Wrestling
series,
man Ric Flair was a scumbag.
the 60 Minute Man himself. Yeah, he's about to go down.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Who would have thought?
The guy that claims to have slept with over 1,000 women.
Actually ended up having some trouble with a couple of them, apparently.
He was a scumbag. Who would have known?
Here's a picture of him with Bill Cosby. It's going to start coming out.
Well, that's
He's on Epstein's plane. You're like, oh, God.
Speaking of planes and Ric Flair and
And-
drinks being spiked.
And Epstein?
No Epstein,
Oh.
but it takes place on a plane. There was this thing in WWE lore called the flight from hell, or the plane ride from hell. Dog, you're really knocking my hustle over here. Do you have anything you want to say? I don't
great.
think we can air that. We're going to have to bleep that. This dog's a racist. Get out. Leave. I'm telling a story about Ric Flair.
Go on.
Anyway, so it was like 2000, 2003, I think, and they were coming back from a European tour, and they got stuck on the tarmac for 7 hours because of a weather delay. And these guys are just doing somas and fucking drinking. They cleared out 3 liquor carts before they hit the air.
How many people?
The roster that went over, I don't really know. I would just throw.
I guess
30,
it doesn't really matter.
I would throw 30 out there, but I don't know for sure.
It doesn't really matter if it's all of the liquor. It's 3 of all of the liquors.
It's a lot of big,
Carts.
burly, roided up assholes who were spiking each other with Halcyon.
And you say it's coming out now that there's some sexual assault allegations in there.
There's some shit that shouldn't have gone down, Roy, because they were like putting Halcyons in each other's drinks, GHB, which one of the gentlemen helpfully describes. He goes, yeah, it'll kind of knock you out. It's also used in rapes. And then they just cut to another scene, and I'm like, Jesus, Mike Chioda.
You'd think they would have cut it before that line.
He could have been tactful and been like, sometimes it's used as a date rape drug. He goes, yeah, sometimes it's used for rapes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Interesting that you guys had some on hand.
You're talking about how you guys just used to do and he admits it. He's like, sometimes these guys would use it on women and just go for it. And it's like, holy fucking shit. This is a product that I watched as a fucking adult. I never watched wrestling as a kid. I fell into it around 2016.
And was this the beginnings of? Wait, when was this? Was this like the heyday of wrestling, or?
I mean, they were pretty hot. It was like 2002, 2003.
Oh wow, okay.
So anyway,
for some reason I'm picturing like mid '90s assaults, and now I'm realizing it's much worse than that. Well,
it
I
was
guess
happening
it's pretty
then
worse
too.
both. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Now everyone's gonna start wondering about The Rock and all kinds. Like,
honestly,
now all wrestlers are going to be up for question.
Well,
Don't trust him, folks. I know he was in Jumanji.
it looks like they give good hugs, but let me tell you.
Well, it's weird. We saw that wrestler when we were out in Texas.
Mark Henry, who almost punched me in the face.
Almost assaulted you guys. Well, let's be honest. What you guys did was not cool at all.
There was no you guys. I marched right up to him and I said, Mark Henry, I just want to say you're one of my favorite wrestlers. We love you. Great job tonight. I went in for the handshake, but I do the Bill Clinton thing where I either touch your elbow or I clap you on the shoulder. And I think his shoulder was hurt, and I just glomped onto him without thinking about it, and he just looked at me really quick, and I'm like, he is about to press slam me through this fucking coffee table. Jesus Christ.
Well, imagine how many people probably come up to him and in one way or another hassle him. So you just out of nowhere, and I'm sure you thought you were calm and collected, but probably when you did it, you probably thought, like, wow, this dude's on cocaine. Mark Henry, I'd just like to say you're the best and a wonderful, good job tonight.
The truth is I bit Mark Henry on the face.
Yeah, the truth is you just did that, you turned and immediately started crying.
I bit him on the tit and ran away.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Wrestlers, man. Yeah, so long story short, Ric Flair walked around the plane in a robe with nothing on and helicoptered his penis in a lady's face and like backed her up into the galley and was like, touch my dick. She was like, I'd rather not. And he's like, no, I insist you touch my dick. From a guy who used to call sleeping with him riding Space Mountain, I expected no different.
Well, what a fun time it would have been.
Shit is about to go down in professional wrestling.
It's
Ric
always
Flair's done.
What is some shock it always is that people with lots of notoriety and money always end up being abusive pieces of shit.
Oh.
When are we gonna learn?
Who would have guessed?
When are we gonna learn?
It's the stories that come out. We'd have to keep going on the professional wrestling line. All I would like to say is, for you out there, you might think wrestling is stupid, and it is.
Yeah.
But there are some amazing behind-the-scenes stories that come out about wrestling. Just human interest things. You don't have to like wrestling.
I like the history, says Scotch.
It's the drama.
Yeah.
It's like the South Park episode. Wow, they're wrestling so hard while they're out there just doing monologues.
3 years from now, I want to see you're just watching old episodes of Melrose Place. It's about the behind-the-scenes stuff. Oh, look at that. That wasn't actually Monica's line right there. You see, her and her counterpart there, they had a fight behind stage, and she's trying to railroad the scene. Oh, look how good they keep it on. It's about the history, you guys.
The thing is, Rory,
After this, we're going for Guiding Light.
I am about to start watching Melrose Place.
And as the world turns.
It's not even a bit. I'm about to start watching Melrose Place. And then I have to watch 90210
And some Murphy Brown.
and rewatch The OC because I want to do a podcast about teen soap dramas.
What?
So bad.
Who are you doing this with?
I don't know.
Not me.
I don't know. It's not going to be you. No way. You'd kill yourself. But
Well, if I were to do it, every episode would be me talking about how much I hate you and how much I'm suffering, and then explaining why the plot is bad.
what I'm going to do is
Actually, it could be pretty good.
whenever I hit an episode that is just so virulently wrong-headed and shitty and unbearable and difficult to get through, I'm going to tell you to watch that one.
Okay.
And then you're going to come in and give the raw report.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start this, but also we have to expand out. I want to be watching 90s sitcoms, like step by step, and I want to watch Saved by the Bell, just the early years, not the later stuff.
Before Belden got coke bloat.
Yeah, they brought Screech back in. Although I will go look up pictures of that afterwards. What's another good one? Maybe like Clarissa Explains It All.
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Did you
of
hear what they're
Bel-Air.
doing with that?
What?
It's getting rebooted as like a gritty drama.
What?
Yeah. Totally new cast. Totally new cast.
Why not just make it a new show?
do something different? I know.
You can do the same thing. You can do exactly what you just said, but have it be absolutely nothing to do with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and not tack that on for notoriety, and just make the show stand on its own.
It's just such an iconic
Now,
thing. I don't know why you'd
this
want to
is
water
a
that IP
story.
down.
All about how my life
If they do like a really dark version,
It's like the
of beginning-
Sopranos theme song, but for
Turns it
Fresh Prince.
upside down. I mean, that would be pretty fun, actually.
sit fresh on the license plate, had fuzzy dice in the mirror.
I'm sure, like, I would sit here and on the one hand say, show me something that deserves a fucking reboot. Show me something that deserves to, like, come back from the grave. And somebody out there would have an example, right? But that's not it. Like, I in my mind, it's got to be a show that, like, had a cult following but never really got there, that, like, can come back now and have, like, an amazing reboot. But, like, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kicked ass.
Yeah.
It was made. It doesn't-
Everyone remembers
It
it.
doesn't need a fucking reboot. You can go watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was great.
And
fact-
you love it for what it is. You don't need a gritty reboot of it.
In fact, occasionally I do go back and watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, sure.
Like, within the last 3 months, I have watched several episodes of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
All the time. I saw the one where Will accidentally killed Mr. Jefferson. He gave him a heart attack. He ripped on the guy so hard, and the guy was just like so amused at how like impotent and ineffective Will Smith was that he died.
he died.
Laughed himself to death. Come on, man. You can't do a gritty reboot of that.
I will watch this gritty reboot only if it's an episode for episode remake. So they have to take the theme of every episode and make it dark. So I can see the one where Will gets hustled in the pool hall and Uncle Phil has to come and hustle the guy's back to get him out of a jam. I will watch that one again and see how well they did. But again, it's got to be episode for episode remake.
Yeah.
Otherwise, is it really that?
It
Or-
needs to be an episode for episode remake, or it needs to also combine a gritty reboot of Family Matters.
You can't be doing this stuff. I'm a judge.
Phil and Winslow grew up together and went in totally different directions. One became an insanely successful lawyer, and the other one became a cop. All the stories you could tell in between that. Now, I'd watch this fucking show.
Yeah. I don't know why you need to even tag it as like being a reboot. Just fucking make it. Just make the show.
The thing is, you're exactly right. If you want to remake Perfect Strangers because your idea is like, for 2021, we're going to have it be like an Iranian immigrant who moves in with this guy in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and
The
hilarity
new
ensues.
dark reboot of Charles in Charge.
Charles was not given control.
Yeah.
He took it.
See, his name's not really Charles. It's an aggressive household where he has to fight for dominance, and they call him Charles to debase him and try to Americanize and Westernize him.
Or it's like a Don
Watch
Draper
Thursdays
type
at
thing.
8.
It's a Don Draper type thing, and he just took the guy's identity and was like, "Are you Charles?" Yes.
Yes, I am Charles.
Yes, I'm Charles. And I'm in charge.
Charles in
That's
Charge.
so charming. He's just slowly cutting himself under his army jacket.
Thursday nights on the CW.
It's just got a whole cast of sexy teens.
Just angsty. Oh, so this is what they do in the off season of Riverdale.
But you know how 25-year-olds always play teenagers?
Yes.
You should have teenagers playing like 6-year-olds.
That's incredible.
Looks like I wet my diaper.
Cut it down even farther. It's just a bunch of
Still isn't right or legal.
14-year-olds in kindergarten.
I made an accident in my pants.
Joey wiped a booger on me.
It's just like teens with 6-pack abs just eating Play-Doh.
No, stop making out in the back. You're 6 years old.
He's out of control. You know how much Play-Doh he's eating a day with a milk chaser? It's a slow walk to eating dirt, I'll tell you that.
Show me the same thing, except it's 6-year-olds playing 18-year-olds in the most violent school in the nation, and like the police are regularly having to come in to club them.
Just wanding them down as they walk in.
Hold, scumbag.
I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, they totally adult language.
Oh, here comes the rubber gun squad. You have no authority
You
here,
fucking
pig.
pussies.
Go ahead, do something.
That would be great.
Do something.
Because I got to tell you, I would watch the hell out of that. I would watch that in a heartbeat.
If you want to see little kids acting like adults, have you ever heard of Hawk Jones?
No. I've probably seen it.
No, you haven't. It is an 80s cop
No,
drama
you haven't.
starring entirely children
That sounds pretty
acting as
amazing.
adults. It like they literally have a little 9-year-old black kid playing the angry black police chief.
Oh, jeez.
The riff that Ice-T does in Jump Street is like, yeah, I'm the chief of police and I'm angry. So what?
Yeah.
It's a stereotype. I don't care. They do that in this Hawk Jones movie. It's just this little black kid with a fake mustache being like, the mayor's going to have my ass.
It's incredible.
It's perfect, dude. It's an amazing movie. Hawk Jones. Seek it out.
Well, everyone's got some homework now.
Those are the kind of people I want to work with, man. People are like, hey, I got a great idea. It's a gritty cop drama about a drug cartel and the police that are chasing them down at great expense to themselves. But the twist is, they're all played by little kids.
played
I'd be
by
writing
babies.
the check already.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is why maybe no one wants to work with us. Give us your children. We want to make something funny.
I'm going to put your child in a movie.
Yeah. It's like I got to buy just the right amount of social credits with my sister because I have 2 nieces now, and they could go into all kinds of stuff.
I really wanted them for my baby iPod commercial.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, my baby don't mess around. It's just kids smashing iPhones.
I don't think they would have I think they would have just cried and been confused.
Just chewing on it.
I have my nieces are like afraid of wind and stuff. Growing up in COVID is going to make a whole generation of kids weird. And I, for one, am very excited for it. There's just like, again, social interaction happens through screens and stuff. Remember the first time that you went on an online date and you were talking to someone behind a screen and you were messaging back and forth and it took a little while to get out and then you finally get out and then you meet that fucking person for the first time across from you and go, this is weird as fuck. I don't know why, but there's something really strange about how this started and about now meeting you in physical space. Like, we didn't meet here first. We met over there. Like, that's going to be a whole generation of kids doing that. Where, like, the first time they all meet in person, like, especially kids, like, these weird, superficial, confusing shit. Like, friendships are going to be made and lost the first time you meet each other and, like, somebody hugs somebody wrong and kids are going to cry and push each other on the playground. It's going to be anarchy, man.
Well, I don't want to be Steven Crowder over here. But it is going to be really interesting for like the COVID generation coming up, the iPhone generation, like we've talked about, our cousins' kids with cameras in their faces all the time, and then like the world is taking a move towards political correctness, so it's like,
well, it's weird. It's the question of like, what do you blame, or is there anything to blame?
I think it's just a lot of things that are going to
just
change the nature of it.
It's just the nature of societal change.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the kind of thing where it's like if an 1800s family were to come here and not be freaked out, oh, what's that? Ah! Like, and looked at like how society ran, they'd probably be pretty disgusted. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, fascinated, flabbergasted, all of the above.
just bring them to a beach. Just bring them to a beach in the middle of summer.
It's like that Seth Rogen movie, An American Dickhole.
Yeah, American Pickle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stinky Pickle.
Yeah, Stinky Pickle Man. Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then they broke down all of his views, and he was just a total bigoted asshole.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is funny. That's a clever idea.
That was the only good part about the movie.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was pretty solipsistic.
Yeah.
Just my new favorite word
Oh, well done.
/ concept.
Solipsism?
Yeah.
Fun.
Pretty dope.
But,
I like to think this podcast is solipsism. It is the only reality we can bank on because it's the only one we occupy.
I was going to say it's more nihilistic, but
Everything outside of it is not real. There is no world outside of this podcast.
so thanks for joining us in the only real world that exists.
The thing is, yeah, watch it on YouTube. It's a self-contained thing. You can't see us, and we're not there. It is its own reality. As far as we know, in this episode you're listening to right now, the only universe is the two of us and that dog that I think farted a while back because I caught a powerful odor in my
Oh,
nostril.
that dog farts all the time.
Yeah.
I would like to think that somewhere, one day, maybe someone will listen to one of our episodes in one of those tanks that it's just them. In
The sensory deprivation tank?
Yeah, they're just floating in the water, and they're just listening to us, and we're just, maybe this is the episode, and they're just floating off, kind of, and, maybe they took a little DMT. Who was that? I'd like to think that we probably would not be conducive to a fun time on drugs.
I don't think so.
Like intense drugs. Who knows, though?
Well, let's give it a shot. Let's make an episode just for people on drugs. So listen, you
I
guys.
think it's too late. I think maybe if they took drugs right at the start of this episode, rewind it, take some drugs, and then listen back. And now, good, we're all caught up. The rest of this episode, I think we'd fail. I'm gonna be honest. I think we'd fail at it.
I think if we just hadn't drawn any attention to it and we just slipped into some kind of like eldritch horror, where we just start talking about the dark ones, the lost city of Ryla.
Fallen into the stars.
Have you seen that Nicolas Cage movie, The Color Out of Space?
I have not.
It looks.
There's a lot of Nicolas Cage movies I decided not to watch.
This one looks like a good one, but you don't like weird, creepy horror shit.
Well, I haven't gotten around to Mandy yet either,
Mandy's amazing.
See, I've heard they're very good, but I've also, it's like that horror that I just don't really search out.
Yeah, I mean, Mandy is like even more just like an exercise in total style. It's so visual.
It's like a stylistic suspense horror.
The plot is totally secondary to like the images.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it has a story.
Well, it's just him going from scene to scene trying to find his love that's been taken by the devil, more or less.
By a cult.
By a cult.
And the leader has a micro penis.
Oh. Which you see?
No, you just
that's
see
too
her
bad.
laughing at it.
Oh, I see.
Pisses him off.
Well, that all tracks.
As a guy with a super fat hog, I can't relate.
Yeah, what a tough problem to have, man.
Let me tell you something. I can't keep chode jeans on the shelves, baby. I need them. 56-inch waist, 10-inch legs.
I'm a
fucking
seller,
junk.
but I'm also #1 buyer. Joe Jeans. Get your can on.
That show is so funny. I'm going to personally call Jeff out right now. Jeff, you motherfucker. I have been telling you for weeks now to watch I Think You Should Leave, and you just refuse to do
I
it.
watched Friday Night Lights for you, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Why don't you take some fucking advice and watch something outside your comfort zone?
You got to finish The White Lotus. Mayor of Eastwick, how dare you? I thought our
Yeah.
friendship meant something. I thought a recommendation from me was a guaranteed goddamn tea.
Yeah.
And you're going to do me like this and not watch the show?
Let me just say, a reckoning is coming. And that's the kind of thing you can take to the bank, knowing us. At some point, we will see you, and something will happen in some form or another. Will it be good? Not this time.
Jeff, I would like to add to that theoretically the next time you see us could be your wedding.
Wedding, yes. That's what I was thinking as
So
well.
consider your next steps carefully.
That is exactly correct, Alex. That is what I was thinking as well. It will be at the wedding.
See you soon, Jeff. Hiya, Jeffy.
Yeah. That's a wonderful thing to hear. I wonder how many other listeners will also be at this wedding. It's going to be fun.
I don't know. I don't know who listens anymore.
I don't either. People. Every now and then I check, and people still listen.
Is it people or is it bots?
I'd like to think if our robot overlords are listening, then if we're entertaining the future rulers of society, then that's okay with me. We keep it going, the robots keep listening, and then eventually when they make their protein farms, we can get wonderful like clerical positions instead of doing hard labor. They're in salt mines, looking for pieces and minerals to create great processors.
I think they're going to do us the courtesy if they really love us. They're just going to put us into the Matrix.
You there, what have you put in your sock? It's a piece of silicone. Kill him. It's like Blood Diamond, but with robots.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe they do put us into the Matrix. That'll be the nice thing.
I think they do, and they're like, this one, I mean, they ask for comparatively little. Let's just let them live in eternity eating terrible food.
Didn't somebody like totally destroy the concept of the Matrix? They're like, why would they farm humans as batteries? That's like the worst. That's like the most inefficient fucking thing they could do.
What would you even... They did not explain that well. No, they didn't.
No, and they're remaking the Matrix.
Are they remaking it, or is it the fourth one?
Well, it involves, I don't know. It's all the same people.
Yeah.
It's the same director. I think it's just one of the Wachowskis.
I think it's only one Wachowski.
Yeah.
You want to hear something crazy?
What? No. No, I don't. No, don't tell me. What?
Okay.
What is it?
You really don't want to know?
No, I do now.
I've never seen The Matrix. I haven't seen any of those movies.
You haven't seen any of the Matrix films?
I've seen only clips of him bending over to avoid the bullets. I know vague plot points.
You are missing out on 1/3 of a good time.
I know how the entire saga ends somehow.
I bet you would watch it and go, that's not what the description looks like.
I'm interested in the first one.
The first one is the one that I recommend you at least watch. If you're going to watch any of them, watch the third one. No. Watch the first one, for the love of God.
Big movie guy, never seen The Matrix.
You know, the second and third one are just kind of, like, in my opinion, kind of contrived bullshit. Like, they just get so kind of up their own ass in trying to, like, explain this world in a way that just kind of doesn't really land super well. But the first one, I really enjoy. What a ride.
Yeah, they're just trying to suck more marrow out of that IP. You gotta suck those tits until they're chapped and raw.
I argue that somewhere in there was an interesting story. Like in the second and third one, it just like maybe it just fell apart in the editing room floor. I don't know. Like I know that that's a thing that happens now because there's something that just feels really disjointed about them.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'll have to find out when we watch all three of them now.
We have to watch Mystery Men, too. We said we were going to watch that for the first time since the early 2000s.
I see that all over the place now. I've seen it like 4 times since you mentioned it. It's starting to fuck with me. You're lucky I haven't watched it because I thought about watching it the other day. I was like, yeah, no, I'll wait.
We said we were going to watch it with Tanner, yeah.
Yeah. Because I can't leave out, Mr. Acebo. Can't leave out the engineer.
He's going to be fucking miserable. I don't know if he remembers the movie. I think he's going to...
Well, you don't think he's gonna like it?
Fucking miserable.
I like that movie. Oh, it's like it's the pacing is weird and it's a very dry movie.
Did he say he'd seen it?
No, I don't think he has.
Okay, yeah. If there's no nostalgia factor for him, I think he's gonna have a tough time with this.
It's a little
movie.
dry. It's a little dry.
I love it.
Janine Garofalo.
I've been given a gift. I shovel well. I shovel very well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, see, he's not a superhero guy either, though. Like, for us who, like, bitch and moan about Marvel, where we've seen all of it, except for the new crap, which we kind of are starting to refuse to, except for that new Spider-Man. Oh, boy. But, damn it!
We didn't record any of that.
Yeah, fuck! No, I know. It doesn't matter. But, yeah, Mystery Men is like that weird superhero realm, so we'll see.
It's the shit that I want. The fucking device is called the Psychofraculator. The main henchman gang is called the Disco Boys.
Yeah, what's the villain's name?
Casanova Frankenstein.
Casanova Frankenstein.
Come on, man.
What a great! It confused the hell out of me the first time I saw it.
It's so fucking good. The Blue Raja.
Well, yeah. Oh wow.
Hank Azaria throwing forks
in a breakout performance.
I knew I should have brought my large pie, sir.
Just like that's the superhero movie I want. It doesn't have to be a bunch of people who have legitimate superpowers. I want a bunch of goons.
You want a bunch of dinguses?
I want a bunch of stupid people. That's why I liked Super so much.
I want that. I want it mixed that with the Christopher Nolan universe.
Mystery Men done as a gritty reboot.
Yes. See, there it is.
This asshole throws forks.
That's the reboot I want. One of them, and you throw in a little super, so one of them gets shot in the face.
There you go.
And it's just a little bit of everything. Just gritty douchebag, so it's funny, but there's real world consequences.
I still want to do a Dark Knight reboot that is the entire Wayans family. I'm not going to bury another member of the Wayans family.
You just want it for that one line.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct, bro.
We're going to build a whole movie around this.
It's basically just going to be a shot-for-shot remake with the Wayans brothers.
That's fine.
Siblings. I don't know if they have sisters. They definitely have progeny.
They
There's
probably
Damon
do.
Wayans Jr.
You just
I'm
want
a
it to
big
be
fan.
nothing but the family.
I love the Wayans brothers. I love the Wayans.
Yeah, they're fine.
Keenan Ivory, Sean, Marlon, Damon Jr.
I didn't much care for White Chicks.
It's not a good movie.
But other than that, yeah, they do.
Neither is Little Man.
I remember Blank Man back in the day, since we're talking about superhero movies.
Yeah, see?
It's pretty great. They've spanned multiple generations worth of comedy.
Pretty wild. In Living Color, tremendous.
Yep. And normally I'm the kind of guy who sits there and goes, I really hate like the giving of shit to your family, you know, in terms of like these amazing careers and all of this money that comes with it. But they do good work, God damn it. It upsets me.
That's how I feel about Jonah Hill's sister.
It's the
She's
exact
getting
opposite how I feel
so
about the
much
Baldwins.
fucking work.
Yeah. Because you just decide that's what you want.
Right.
And hell or high water, you just keep throwing mud at a wall. Some of it's going to stick.
I don't think she's that good. And I think Jonah Hill is only good in like 75% of the things he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's one of those things that you got to find that right role, and then you're in and you're set. That's it. That's all you got to do.
You were talking about rebooting sitcoms from the 90s. They should reboot Martin, but not have Martin Lawrence in it at all. Have it be Jonah Hill.
Yeah, it's like hanging with Mr. Cooper and fucking anything with Sinbad.
He wasn't in any sitcoms, was he?
Are you sure?
I don't think he was on TV. I think
Was he strictly a movie guy?
he did stand-up in movies. He was
Because he was. That's what we need is that movie Sinbad did where he was the bodyguard.
was it First Kid?
Yes. I want a gritty reboot of First Kid.
Where he has to like shoot people in the kids' high school.
Yep.
You're too close, man.
But it's just because the kid's a snot and he's like manipulating the situation so that he has to step in with lethal force.
Why didn't they
Yeah.
do that with Barron Trump? It's
I don't
Barron
know.
Trump trying to go to a normal American high school, and Sinbad is his bodyguard.
And everyone tries to kill him.
Yeah, because everyone hates Barron Trump because of his dad.
Yep. It writes itself.
He should go play basketball in Latvia. He'd make a killing. He looks like a Latvian basketball player. That kid's so tall. That makes me love Donald Trump, to be honest. You can't love a guy. You can't not love a guy that's got a tall son.
Yeah, great.
It's my official position, if you guys are wondering.
There you had it. This is one of the worst things you said. No, not even close.
No. Doesn't even rank.
I'm just really trying to think of old shit that I would love to see a reboot of now. Everybody keeps trying to remake Dune, and they keep fucking failing. I
Yeah.
saw a fucking shot of who was it? James McAvoy. He's in like some version of Dune. He's like climbing on top of this monster.
What?
Yeah, James McAvoy.
No, really?
Mm-hmm. He was in some version of Dune when he was younger. Like as
Was it
like,
the Sci-Fi Channel
it might
limited
have
series?
Yeah, it might have.
Was he Paul Atreides?
Yeah, I think like the
No.
third or something like that. Yeah. Unless it was like the most amazing deep fake I've ever saw, which it could have been, because technology is crazy these days. You can't believe shit you see anymore.
James McAvoy Dune.
Yeah, try it. Try it out. Look it up. And you will see what I say is true.
Well, it does come up.
Everybody's
He
sitting here.
was in Children of Dune. Who
Children
did he play?
of Dune. He played the son, like someone the
Leto
third.
Atreides too.
Oh, it's the second?
He was Muad'Dib, who's Paul Atreides' kid. I know
Wow.
way too much about this.
Apparently.
Holy shit.
I don't know shit about Dune. I tried reading one of them when I was younger and just did not give a shit. Got like maybe 100 pages into it. Was like, I'm going to go play Super Mario.
The thing is, I haven't actually read the books. I've just
Yeah.
researched everything that happens in them.
Well, it seems like one of those concepts that'd be interesting if somebody would do well, but book translations into movies never seem to go well. Hey, with the exception of Harry Potter, of course.
Oh, of course.
Just spot on casting. Good
It was
quality.
worth plying Daniel Radcliffe with just bathtubs worth of gin.
No, I was going to say gin, yes. You can tell. You can see he was a gin man.
Oh, yeah. Got those rosy cheeks, gets combative. He's also British. They love gin.
Yeah.
Fucking
Beef eaters. Yeah, just mountains of beef eater bottles. The guy plays Ron Weasley. What's his name? Rupert Grint.
Yeah. That's a tough pull. You're a ginger like that. Your name is Rupert Grint.
Yeah. Just trying to walk in to rouse Daniel Radcliffe from his fucking slumber. We gotta go do the thing.
He's in character. He's a method actor.
Clink, clink.
Harry, oh my goodness. You seem to have had too much butterbeer.
Just turns and throws up. Oh, what a horror.
I'm in love with Hermione, man.
Yeah.
She'll give you the time of day. I don't have a big dick like that Russian guy. A tiny Irish dick. Is that what you wanted to hear? Harry Potter has a tiny Irish cock.
Daniel Radcliffe is a drunken character.
Drunk Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it's funny because technically we actually did get some drunk Harry Potter.
It's very true. I feel bad for him. I'm glad he got better.
Yeah,
but
no, good for him. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I mean, the fact that he's doing well now and has millions and millions of dollars makes me feel better about kind of making fun of him. I can take the piss out of him because he'll never hear this.
Because he's still here with us.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love his acting. I genuinely do.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I also like
watch Guns
Robert
Akimbo?
Pattinson.
You know, I'm kind of sad that he did the Twilight thing, but a lot of other people that I like were also in Twilight.
Yeah.
So, you know, gotta forgive him. Sometimes do bad work. I also saw the interviews he did afterwards where he kind of makes fun of it. So, hey, plus 2 points. He was weird in Tenet, but Tenet was a weird movie.
Tenet was a weird movie.
So, yeah, you know, he's all right. I'm interested to see how he does as Batman.
He's your Batman now.
I'm interested to see.
Me too.
He's either, I mean, he's going to solidify his role or not. I think it's going to be a very serious, somber Batman.
Oh, yeah, they're playing Paul Dano's the Riddler, and they're playing him like BTK, or the
really?
Zodiac Killer, yeah.
Oh, well, that'll be fun.
I'm super excited for that.
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz is playing Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz, hot take, I don't think she's a happy person,
No, probably not.
which is so weird.
You know why? Because she's had this her whole fucking life. She's had it her whole fucking life. Like, think about anybody. Like, it's not everybody, but you see a lot of people who were in it from their childhood just don't give a shit. And
It's probably pretty rote.
you get a certain number of people who like break out later, and they just like they seem super nice and friendly about it. Don't get me wrong. You have certain examples of like from Third Rock of the Sun.
Joseph
Joseph
Gordon-Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt. You have those certain examples where he just seems really well adjusted and happy with it. But yeah, you just get some of these young child actors who just seem like who have been in the industry their whole fucking lives. Who just seem fucking miserable. But it's a ton of money. It's people waiting on them hand and fucking foot. It's having it's having the kind of expenses where you walk on set and the food that you're going to eat over the next 10 days is more money than most of the extras are all going to get paid together. And you take that shit for granted after 20 years of it. You just start to not give a shit. So, like, I guess that would make you unhappy at a certain point, you know? When money really doesn't buy you happiness, you're just schlepping around doing this shit because it's expected of you.
You make Hollywood sound like such a fairy tale.
I'm sure it is. You walk down, you're like, let's go look at the Hollywood squares. And then you realize there's people still sleeping on them. And you're like, oh, man.
The magic of Hollywood.
It's like a fairy tale.
Look, it's Harvey Weinstein's star.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she just always looks like she's super bummed out, having a bad time. And I want to know what's up. Zoe, listen.
Come on the pod.
Come on the pod. Hash it out. And let me tell you this. If you gain 30 pounds, I'll date you. So there's that incentive, too.
Oh, don't worry. I'll date you now, just as you are.
Well,
I'm also kind of sad. We'll
keep
get you
in
a
mind,
sandwich anyways.
I'm 2% more self-actualized than Rory, which doesn't sound like a lot, and you'd be correct.
Wait, how? How are you more self-actualized than me for not wanting to date someone based on their weight?
Because I myself work out.
Oh, I see.
So there we go.
That sounds much worse.
Absolutely. I have intense body dysmorphia, and I would like to pass that savings on to someone else.
All right, that gives you a coupon.
You are not fat enough. Here is one coupon to Red Lobster. Load up on the biscuits.
Make me. Normalize me.
The shame-based economy. I like it more than the economy of respect.
It's a weird thing you bring up, though. I don't understand why there's so many unhappy celebrities. Like, you don't, like, I get you don't have much privacy when you go out into the world. But you also have the money to buy privacy in a lot of ways. You have to get over the fact that people, when they see you, they're going to take photos of you. But you also get to live on the upper echelon of society. All of the food you eat is nice and healthy as long as you want it to be. I mean, you can go out and eat shit McDonald's if you want, but it actually becomes a choice. You know, shit is taken care of for you. Once you start making a certain amount of money and get a certain amount of notoriety, the things that other people pay for, you get sent for free. Oh my God, I was at George Clooney's wedding and I got an iPod in my gift basket. That's so cool. And, you know, everyone else is sitting out there paying $600 for that fucking iPad. So, you know what I mean? But like, that's kind of like regular weird shit. You just get handed stuff. It's a weird life. So I don't understand where the complaining comes in. The worst thing you have to deal with is if you decide to get your dad bod going on, that the Sun is going to put pictures of your dad bod on the fucking front page and go,
Channing Tatum is a disgusting pig.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to sit there and deal with that and go, and you know, either you're really insecure and you're upset about that, or you're not.
Right.
But you still realize, go, wait, who's got $24 million? Oh, wait, I do.
That's right.
And you go back to your fucking awesome estate and you swim in your pool.
You know what these tits are brought to you by? Chocolate milk. You know what this $24 million mansion is by? Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Your move.
Exactly.
And then he spits on you.
Well, it's just funny, too. Like,
come.
there's that weird, like, that's the argument you hear sometimes. Like, well, they have to stay in, like, peak physical shape. And I'm like, no, I don't.
Between roles, they can kind of
They
let it go.
Between roles, they can chill out. But, I mean, nobody's asking him to be a character actor. You think if Channing Tatum decided that he wanted to get fat, that people wouldn't cast him in comedies? Because they absolutely fucking would, especially after he went from being a big dude. Fat Thor, certain people, all the women who were thirsty bitches were really depressed that Thor was fat for the last one, but I kind of enjoyed the shit out of it.
People liked it. Some women were like, give me Fat
give me
Thor.
some more Fat Thor.
And I'm like, now you guys know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
talking about.
So cast him as Fat Thor in a buddy cop movie, you know, or, you know. I'm just saying.
I think more male celebrities that are hunky should get fat.
It's a weird metric, is what I'm saying. It's a weird standard. It goes both ways. I don't care, you know. I mean, put 200 more pounds on Melissa McCarthy. Maybe she'll be funnier. Because I don't particularly like what she's doing right now.
I think she'll get sadder if you do that.
Yeah.
But hey, you won't know till we find out.
Whatever. Give her a wasting disease then. I don't care
We
one
all
way or
just
another.
feel so bad
Let's
for
just
her.
make Melissa McCarthy funnier.
I
liked her on SNL, and I don't know what the fuck happened.
She wasn't on SNL. I mean, she hosted.
Yeah, she was on every now and then. She did like the
Yeah.
Spicer stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I liked her on SNL.
Okay, I was just making sure you knew she wasn't a cast member.
No, I know.
Because I know you're slow-witted.
So I liked her when she did certain
You're
things.
handsome, but you're slow-witted. What was I going to say? Well,
You railroaded yourself.
No, I wanted to circle back to your point. You're like, what does celebrities have to be upset about? And I think for me, the thing I think about the most is Billie Eilish. She lives in the gilded cage. There are people out there who want to cut her head off and eat it. And there are people just because they're crazy and they're obsessed with her. It's like a Mark David Chapman thing.
Yeah.
Can you explain why he wanted to kill John Lennon? Really?
So that people would know that he killed John Lennon.
That or he's an MK Ultra victim. I don't know. Both.
Yeah, the government wanted Lennon dead.
Could be.
Listen, we all saw the documentary.
This stinky hippie is dangerous.
Yeah, no, I guess.
But Billie Eilish
There's a
can't
weird thing
scratch
about
her ass without armed security. She's just too much of a commodity. She's too popular. And she's like 19.
Yeah.
That's a suck life, man. You've got to, it's the gilded cage. You've got a cool mansion, and you can't go out unescorted.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent. You got to understand, though, there's also that connection. You can go to other celebrities' gilded cages. And to be honest, when they're fucking huge like that and decked out and you have access to pretty much anything you can get, you know, anywhere else. I mean, you're right. You're not going to go to any amusement parks anymore. You know, there's certain things that are tough. But I've never had access to be able to be like, I can go to a private beach. I mean, I'm sure I could with a certain amount of money or that. Like, I don't have the kind of money to buy my gilded cage on the side of beachfront property that I own myself, where my neighbors are other celebrities who also respect my privacy, and we can all kind of live in this like gorgeous fucking planned community of rich people who are completely gated off from the rest of society. Which I get what you're saying, though. Like,
Is that enticing to you at all, though? Like
to-
living in a situation like that?
To a certain extent. I mean, having lived in a city where it was like, okay, when's the next time I'm going to hear the ambulance? You know, like there's
Songs of the City.
Well, yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying though? Like there's a certain appeal to it after a certain point in certain ways. You're right, it would get old because like as somebody who enjoyed the city, like there is a certain calming sense in being in a loud, large group of people standing in like outside Madison Square Garden at 4:00 on a Friday and watching people go through, and there's something going on in there. Everybody's trying to get home, and nobody gives a shit who you are or what you're doing or where you're going. They're all just trying to get their own way. There's something kind of cool about that. You couldn't do that if you're fucking Billie Eilish. You can't go stand in that corner and not expect somebody to go, oh my God, and then suddenly a ring to form, you know?
Yeah. And for me, it's not like the private beach holds no appeal because part of what I love about the beach, sincerely, is the people watching and like the moment when a Russian DJ comes up and sets up his shit and just starts playing. You didn't ask him to, but he's here. And the seagulls are eating your French fries and you're sunburned and kids are screaming.
Yeah.
People are letting their dog shit in the sand. It's hell, but it's society. And
Well,
like,
it's like you've got that nice anonymity in
It's
the chaos of
fantastic.
it. Well, you're a people watcher, and I am too, to a certain extent.
and I
you know?
love chaos.
Yeah.
So people even when they're behaving are chaos. You don't
Sure.
know what they're gonna do.
Well, so you're right. To a certain extent, you're never going to be able to go out and participate in the normal dregs of society. But I'd also argue that there's probably some clubs and some places you can go as Billie Eilish where those people are subjected to a certain level of celebrity on the regular that they may not give as much of a shit about you being there. Just because it's such a high-level place that they're not letting fucking everybody in anyways. It might be the kind of place where if they let you in and you hassle their celebrity clientele, they kick you the fuck out anyways. So there's probably places like that. There's resorts. There's things. Sure, it's not what like normal people are used to because we kind of suck and have to like the crowds that I remember are like standing in the McDonald's where the one person's pissed off and got their order wrong, so they decide to rip their bag open and strew the contents of their McDonald's across like the whole back wall because they were mad because it's not supposed to have cheese on it. Don't you understand? You stupid bitch! And that shit goes off in a downtown Manhattan at 3 o'clock on a Thursday. And part of me goes, yeah, maybe having, certain notoriety that comes along with wealth to avoid this sort of situation doesn't sound horrible sometimes.
But I don't know. I see a man having a tantrum, a grown
double-edged
man
sword.
having a tantrum in a McDonald's throwing his fries around, and I go, that's America. The kids are all right. This is what we're all about.
It's fun a couple of times, but like there's certain times, you know what I mean? Like again, I think it's a double-edged sword. There's times when you sit there and go, ain't it grand to be here at this situation watching this go down? And then there's sometimes when you go, I don't want to be in here. And you kind of have that weird moment where you're like, man, this sucks. I wish I could shield myself from this fucked up situation.
Listen, there was a Taco Bell cantina in my neighborhood, and if you got caught there past 11 o'clock, you were not going to have a good time.
No.
There were going to be threatened and actual stabbings. And
Sure.
that was kind of exciting. And I realized that's like, oh, you're romanticizing violence and poverty and things didn't touch your life. I'm like, didn't touch my life. It was
I
right
lived there.
off the train stop.
Yeah.
I had to walk by it to get home.
Well, that's the funny
Absolutely
thing.
touched my life.
I don't think anybody's arguing that. It'd be the kind of thing like, bitch, I lived there. I lived in places like that for years.
And it's invigorating.
weird.
It's scary as shit for the first 2 weeks, and then you're like, now I know.
And then you're over it.
Here
And
I
you
am.
move about your day, and you realize, oh, I'm really tall. If I put a coat on, I seem bigger than I am, and nobody fucks with me. I could walk down the street.
I found my role in the community, which is to hang dong and walk confidently down the street.
Turns out they're pretty cool about it.
Past the bodega. Ooh, these mangoes look so ripe.
Hey, dog man. Hey. Just fell right into
Pass me a
society.
piece of fruit. I just catch it with my penis and use it like an elephant trunk to eat.
He's called the dog man of the Bronx.
Wait till you see him.
Yeah. And wait till you see how much it costs.
I should have lived in the Bronx. That was probably way more my speed than Brooklyn.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like I thought I'll be honest. I thought I'd be fine living in Harlem, and it was tough. Like, and it's not even like a cultural thing. Like, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just like how difficult the commute was every day.
Sure.
And just like the certain rules of like knowing that the sun goes down and there's a cutoff time to go home. Otherwise, like the chance of shit going down rises exponentially.
Yeah.
And like that was just the fucking reality. So I don't know, man. Like just like living in those areas sometimes is interesting, and it's like plenty of good stories, but also at the same time it's nonetheless difficult and depressing. Like I don't know.
But I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I do with money.
Yeah, I guess
You know?
like if I had money, I would probably live like my old roommate Jim's girlfriend did, where she had her own floor overlooking Central Park. That sounds kind of nice. Sounds like kind of like a nice place to live. Being like, hey, guess what? This floor is my floor. Like when I get off the elevator, there's a door and it lets me in, and then the whole floor is mine to just kind of hang out on.
Well,
Like,
you know what? That is nice.
That sounds
I will
kind of
give you
interesting.
that. That sounds cool.
especially in an interesting city.
In a city like New York, because
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of celebrities that do still live there, like
Yes.
Maggie Gyllenhaal and Peter Sarsgaard, because they know no one's trying to kidnap them and butt fuck them.
Sure.
They're not Billie Eilish. They're not Olivia Rodrigo.
Well, you never know.
They're not Regis Philbin.
You never know. World's a big place, man. And if not, maybe I'll fill that role.
There you go. You're gonna kill Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I'm
aren't
coming
you?
for you, Maggie. Great. That's forever saved.
Great. Let's get that again.
Yeah.
Let's get a cleaner take.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just you'll never pitch to me that like having more like the celebrity you could take or leave, but it comes with having accessibility to being able to do a really interesting job that brings you really interesting places and give you access that a lot of people just don't have by way of profession. And it comes with a shit ton of money. And it doesn't have to necessarily be celebrity. It can be anything of notoriety. Like Elon Musk isn't a fucking actor, but look at how everybody knows his face, you know? You're never going to argue for me that having access to that kind of wealth doesn't provide a better life than not having it just because it removes your anonymity in society. Just comes with it.
I mean, I guess I'm also trying to talk myself into the idea that money doesn't buy happiness because I know I'll never have any.
Yeah, until Jeff Bezos is the first man to hit age 150 because he like can put $6 billion towards fucking drugs and techs and research to make him so. You know?
He might already be 150. He looks it.
You never know.
He just looks like dick skin stretched across a human
frame. If you
frame.
look at him when he started to where he is now, you're like, man, you've really leaned into the Lex Luthor look. Like, it's so crazy.
Respect. You know, he knows his audience.
He leaned right into supervillain. Like, again, if anybody ever makes like a bid on the moon, I bet it's going to be him. Just like all the nations of the world, if I were to give you a certain billions of dollars each, would all of you agree that in writing that I own the moon? Would all of you waive your rights to the moon? And they'd all be like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Wait, how many billions? Well, you know, I don't. And we just have to ask you, can we all get rights if we feel like visiting the moon for like science or yeah, sure, whatever. When was the last time anyone went back to the moon? But if you want to build on the moon, you got to get my say so. Okay, Jeff. And then Bezos owns the moon.
He changes the name to Bezos.
Yeah. Oh man, quarter Bezos tonight.
When the Bezos hits your eye, like
if you say moon, you owe him money.
That's Amazon.
Bezos. Bezos. I see what you did, Amazon.
You see?
I did.
Clever boy. Clever girl. We got to talk about Norm Macdonald. First of all, how are we doing on time?
We're doing fine. Yeah, we got a couple more minutes here. Yeah, we got.
How many?
We got like another 10.
Okay.
Another 10 minutes.
We're going to talk about Norm Macdonald.
What
Uncle
a tragedy. It's really sad because I had no idea. I don't think a lot of people knew.
9 years with cancer, and he didn't tell a soul.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our favorite Norm bits.
I mean, I was always just a fan of all the stuff that he used to do on Weekend Update. But it's hard. Like my favorite thing about Norm Macdonald is I used to watch him go on Conan and all those shows and just railroad conversations. Like he just used that. He just say one thing, and it was always the most inappropriate fucking thing to like one of their guests, and it just totally destroyed the conversation. That was always what I really liked watching him do.
Did you see the one where he was? It was somebody I think from Melrose Place actually.
Yeah.
And she was in a movie with Carrot Top, and she's like, "It's called Chairman of the Board." And Conan just looks at Norm, and he's like, "Yeah, do something with that, railroader."
Yeah.
Norm just smiles. He goes, "I bet it's bored, Bored."
Yeah.
And the audience goes fucking crazy.
Crazy, yeah. He's like, son of a bitch, he got me.
He's so good.
He was just one of those, like, he was one of the greats.
Truly.
People don't see it, but he had like this dry, acerbic wit that you just don't see. He was so fucking quick. He was so quick at it.
And he was so committed to the bit, and not even necessarily in like an Andy Kaufman gonna prank you way. He was just so like the things he was saying on his podcast.
Mm-hmm. He went for it. That was what he did.
The fact that he could get
fucking
people
went for
to
it.
laugh just by saying 9/11 with a look on his face.
Yeah.
You know, 9/11 was a national tragedy. And people just bust out laughing.
Yeah.
Like he had a singular gift. He could make the stupidest, weirdest, darkest shit.
Well, so especially because once you knew who he was, he could make jokes like that because you were waiting for the shoe to drop. You're waiting for him to say something based on that. Like he set it up. Where's he going? So he doesn't have to say the punchline because you knew it was going to be something fucked up.
I was waiting back when we were talking about celebrities gaining weight to bring up a Norm bit. He was on Conan. And Conan was like, "So Rosie O'Donnell just got a new talk show." And Norm's like, "Yeah, and so all this these congratulations are coming in on floor 8H, and you know, people are sending flowers and stuff like that." And I said, "Oh, I didn't know you could eat flowers."
No. Oh,
You just watch a bead of sweat run down Conan's face.
Yeah. He just immediately looks at the camera. Norm.
He's just such a dickhead, and it was the funniest shit ever because he was like, by all accounts, a sweet guy. He was so funny.
Oh, he was so funny. And he it's one of those things where it makes you wonder if he really meant it or not sometimes, because there's all the stories about he would say like fucked up shit to the cast members on SNL before, like right before the curtains would come on. Like he'd say something and then the curtains would open. He'd be like, "Oh, live!" And like they'd have to start right in.
It's that Chris Kattan story where
Yeah.
Pam Anderson was hosting and Chris Kattan was thirsting for Pam Anderson. and Norm Macdonald was purposely tanking Chris Kattan's sketch and not doing the "Imagine if you will" Twilight Zone opening.
Yeah.
Just kept doing it in his Norm Macdonald
Imagine if
voice.
you will.
And they're about to go. He hasn't done it right at all. They're about to go live, and Chris Kattan's freaking out, and Norm Macdonald just turns to Pam Anderson and goes, "Hey, Pamela, did Chris tell you he's gay?" They're like, "We're live," and he goes, "Imagine if you will."
Yeah, dives into it.
Just fucks with the guy mercilessly.
Yep.
He was so fucking, that YouTube show that he hosted with Jenny Slate and Kasim G, and they're just doing the most like stuffed shirt shtick ever, and he's like, "Oh, the stars are here, Sandberg and the other fellas."
It just seemed like he didn't care, and you got to imagine to a certain extent he didn't, because he lost his fortune like twice
Gambling,
so
plays
he just
the ponies,
he just didn't give a shit.
dude. It was the funniest
Always
thing
gonna
ever.
be more coming in.
Yeah. He fucking had Sarah Silverman on that red carpet YouTube show. And for a while, she and Michael Cera and Reggie Watts and Tim and Eric were doing a thing called Jash, which was like some half-assed attempt at a comedy collective making cool videos.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And so Norm Macdonald, just like, you see him get that twinkle in his eyes, like, "Sarah, explain Jash. I got a bet with this other guy that you can't explain Jash to me." And she goes, and he just looks off screen and goes, "Pay up, fucker." And she goes on to try to explain it. She's like, "Jash is like a comedy collective, a united artist, if you will. It's me, it's Michael." She's just blah, blah, blah. Norm Macdonald just smiles at her and cuts her off. He goes, "No offense, Sarah, but that sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook." And she just stops and runs out of steam, and she can't help but smile because she knows Norm. And he just fucking got her.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bogus that he's gone.
Yep.
Fucking bogus.
It's one of those things, you know. He's just another guy you'll never get to meet. Yeah. Probably for the best. You never know. They say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty much Chappelle, Oswalt, and Stanhope for me at this point. Would have been Louis C.K., but he's
kind of lost.
he's
it
off
there.
the table.
Yeah. He kind of jumped the shark, didn't he? I don't think I'm using that right.
Pulled the old Ric Flair.
Yeah.
What are we doing on time?
We're at 57 minutes.
Fuck.
Yeah, you fucking suck.
Fuck.
Fucking Triff.
Let's talk about.
So here's a question. You can go back in time or forward in time. You can only do it once. Where do you go?
Back.
You go back?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How far back?
I can pick.
Yeah.
No parameters.
Yeah. No. You just get to pick.
I would go back to the 1800s, and I would do Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows to people completely seriously. Just walk around in those opulent.
Good
"Hello,
day."
fair lady.
Like,
Come sit upon this rope folly that I have erected."
I immediately find your grave. It pops up and it just says you got shot by a derringer. Just
2 minutes into my stay.
Yeah, you were there like 2 days and you just get murdered.
Appeared in a cloud of dust.
Mouthy fuck.
Immediately murdered.
Yeah.
Body dissected by Burke and
All
Hare.
right. I'll change the question.
Okay.
You got to pick forwards or backwards, right? It's got to be one or the other. But you can go as many times as you want in that direction only.
The past.
You can stop whenever you want.
The past.
Still the past?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no interest in the future
You
because
just
it's
keep-
not
you
going to go well.
You just keep going back until it's, like a ball of fire. Like, what if you went back too far?
Am I changing
You can do whatever you want.
anything about the timeline?
No.
Am I
You can do-
creating alternate timelines with
Yeah.
my actions, or is this
Yeah,
just
more
like
or
a
less.
pocket dimension
No, I mean, no. Like you
where
can-
there are no consequences?
Well, I mean, there's always consequences because if you made a new pocket dimension, there'd be consequences for that pocket dimension. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
So
Or does it cease to exist when I leave? You know what I'm saying?
no, it's there. Like,
Okay.
You're going back. Like it'd be like if I mean, you're definitely creating a fork because like this all happened.
Yeah.
But you're going back and you changing things would obviously fork history. Like, because you can make a bank account, send it to a future relative you think is going to exist, or blah blah blah. Blah, do all kinds of shit.
So I couldn't do the reverse Marty McFly and make sure my parents never got together. Because that just wouldn't kill me.
It wouldn't kill you though.
It would kill a different me.
Yeah. It would kill a different you.
Fuck
It would
me.
kill the you from that universe. Because remember, there was like, it's the argument of you go back in time to talk to yourself, right?
Mhm.
Don't do that thing so that I never have to, right? But when you were 7, the time you would have gone back to, right? do you remember meeting you, telling you not to
Right.
do that?
Right.
Of course not. You never happened because it didn't happen to you in this universe. It happened in the universe where you did that. So you can never. You did what you did. There's no going back. You always hit that lady that one night when you were drunk, a little too hot at home, and you were on your way, and you shouldn't have been driving, and you rounded that bend, and you just tagged her, and you thought that nobody knew, and you dumped her body off the side. Well, I know what happened. You can't change it.
I'm just gonna make infinite universes like
Yeah.
illegitimate kids. I
Yeah.
just create a branch and I walk away because it doesn't affect me.
You just like walk back and you just like knock on Bezos's door and go, "Internet books are for douchebags," and you throw a Molotov in there. So
I'll
that's
buy the
different.
idea
And
off
then
you.
you go back again. Yeah, exactly. You just go back destroying little things.
Yeah, I mean,
Right before Bill Gates invents Microsoft, you just cut his throat.
it'd just be fun. It'd just be fun to be a fucking weekender. You know?
I'm just talking about killing famous and influential people.
Sure, and no consequences. Not like you go back and get arrested or your world's on fire.
Gates dead. Jobs dead. Trump's dead. All kinds of death. Everybody's going down. Warren Buffett, you're dead.
You're on notice, boys. Maggie Gyllenhaal, you're not safe.
No, you're definitely not safe.
What would you do? Forward or back?
Forward.
I knew it.
I definitely go forward.
What do you hope to find?
I don't know. Hopefully not a destroyed. Like, here's the kind of thing. You've got nothing but I've got millions and millions of years before the sun expands and overtakes Earth. So I've got to hope that between now and then we're out in space. And then I've got access to not just here, but the whole fucking universe and the future of all of it, rather than just what's going on Earth. I'd have access to everything. And that's more interesting to me because there's a lot more possibility. But then the truth is that you're banking really, really hard. Like, I could be like, well, let's just see where we're at 1,000 years. And I go blink, and I come back and it's all futile, because we just destroyed ourselves and regressed, and we found ourselves in this weird state where everybody's kind of like half cyberpunk. Sounds kind of cool. See, I go back by going forward a little bit because I definitely think we're going to destroy ourselves. But maybe some iterance of us figures it out.
But you can only travel forward once you've traveled forward once, right?
Yeah.
By your metric?
Yeah, I
So
continue.
what if you find out 1,000 years from now it all becomes futile and like that's the end point?
Yeah, well, I mean, I jump forward and everyone's already dead.
Yeah.
And it's gone. We've destroyed the planet.
Yeah, and you can't go
That's
backwards
it.
in time. You can go back to your time.
See, there's definitely the shot that I go, I'm going to go ahead 50 years, and we're all fighting for oxygen in the
Mhm.
oxygen wars. We've just totally destroyed the Earth, and we're a big ball of fucking fire.
Is there anything fun to do? You can't go like give Cleopatra chlamydia or something. That's what I'm gonna do.
I don't know. It just makes me wonder if I could see. Here's the problem with going back. You're gonna get like maybe 100 years and 200 years. You're fine, and then after that, English is gonna start to change, and you're gonna start sticking out more like a sore thumb. You're not gonna be able to go back and speak old fucking English back in the medieval time. You're just not gonna have to do it. And if you go back in American history, they're just gonna kill you.
I'm gonna pretend my tongue's been cut out, and only the ladies are gonna know that it hasn't.
Yeah, you got what I'm saying
You know
though.
what I'm
Like,
saying?
So, I mean, realistically speaking, you're going to run into some fucking barriers unless you decide you want to teach yourself some, like, ancient dialects, man.
Can I take people with me, or is it just me? Am
It's
I
just
the time
you.
child?
It's just you.
Okay.
Can't drag anybody back with you. So you can't bring a translator or anything fun like that. You could bring a book or, like, you can bring, we'll say, I mean, you got your little time knapsack with you. It's not like you're going to bring, like, a rucksack and all this other shit. But you got, like, you got, like, your little bag.
I think I'd come with some pre-prepared Egyptian phrases. I'm really fixated on this Cleopatra.
I was going to
thing.
say, I'm bringing fruit roll-ups.
There
You don't
go.
know fruit roll-ups are in the future, people.
Fruit lurlups. I just feel like Cleopatra probably had like a Nicki Minaj thing going on.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going back to see her. So I'm
Really?
going to pitch woo to Cleopatra.
Wouldn't you go back for, what was it? Who's the woman who started all that war with Troy?
Helen of Troy?
Helen of Troy.
No, she's some white bitch. Not doing that.
I was saying she started a bunch of wars because
Actually,
of her
she was
beauty.
Greek, so I bet she was hot.
Yeah.
That's more my speed.
See what I was saying? Like, look at you small-minded base. This is what westernized Hollywood has done to you, man.
I'm sticking
You thought
with
Helen of-
Cleo. That's the
Thought Helen of Troy was a
champion's
white
pick.
chick.
Well, because she's always a white chick in movies.
So
It's Diane Kruger, so
I'm
I
saying,
immediately was like,
the
no,
westernization, man.
I'm not doing it.
It's gotten to you.
Also, she's clearly like got some issues she's working through.
Just sticking all kinds of dudes.
Prick teasing her way into launching wars. I'm not into it.
That's not. That's hey, you got that.
Cleopatra, I think, would just be like, I want to use you, abuse you, and lose you, my man. And I'd be like, that is fine. And I would learn how to say that in Egyptian. And I would come with my pre-prepared phrases, be like, I don't speak your language. These are the only phrases I memorized. Also, voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? I know you don't know what that means, but to me,
It's a very important
it's
question.
part of the courtship ritual. Not if you understand me. And she'd be like, it's better that you don't speak my language.
Yeah, I think it's a great scenario.
Yeah.
You just get back to like, oh my God, they stink. You stink. You smell. This whole place stinks. I hate this.
Egyptians invented the toothbrush, dude. I'm sitting pretty. I don't know what they wipe their asses with. I'm
the
not too concerned.
toothbrush.
Yeah. That's great.
We had it all wrong. It's made of horsehair, and they were using urine as toothpaste.
She's preparing herself for me, and she's just brushing her asshole with a toothbrush and puts it in her mouth. She's quite a lady, that Cleopatra.
She's a lady.
She wants to get bit on the tit by a snake.
Whoa.
I'll show her something.
Yep.
I'll bend her over a barrel and show her the 50 states.
Well,
Name that movie.
I should know, but it's not.
Horrible Bosses.
Oh, there you go.
Remember that? I'd sure bend her over a barrel and show her the 50 states.
Yeah.
Is that from something? It is now.
Yeah.
Great Jason Sudeikis antics in a mediocre movie.
Yeah. I didn't mind it. How you like me now? Yeah. I mean, it's a weird one. We're out of time though. We're out of time.
Well, Tony Schiavone's telling me we're out of time.
Out of a stroke.
Well, do you have any concluding thoughts for us about anything?
To like the last minutes of Jerry Springer. Love is always a difficult thing, but when you try and really put in that effort, sometimes you can find some common ground that you can both walk away from the discussion knowing that you really changed things for the better.
And that common ground is the fact that you're genetically related.
Yeah.
And changing things for the better is you've decided to date out of the gene pool.
Chair goes by. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. It's like Bob Barker's spay and neuter your pets. Jerry Springer ends every show being like, don't have sex with your siblings.
Yeah. That'd be
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Anything you want to plug before we dip out here?
No.
No? Folks, the bones are going up for Magoobies. It's going to be better than it was before. We have the technology. I want to thank you for all of your support. But more than that, I want to tell you to go fuck yourselves and goodbye.